Free, free East Turkestan!
Free, free East Turkestan!
Free, free East Turkestan!
Free, free East Turkestan!
China, get out of East Turkestan!
China, get out of East Turkestan!
China, China, you can't hide!
China, you can't hide!
You're committing genocide! China, China, you can't hide!
China, you can't hide!
You're committing genocide! China kills our people, stole our land! Justice is our demand! China kills our people, stole our land! Justice is our demand! We want sanctions, we want them now! And support for China now! We want sanctions, we want them now! And support for China now!
1949 was the day East Turkestan fell into the hands of Chinese occupation. It was the day Uyghurs and other Turkic peoples in East Turkestan lost their freedom. It has now been 76 years since the occupation, with no signs as to when it may end. Within these very long 76 years, East Turkestani people have seen several massacres, mass internment and suppression, forced assimilation, and several forms of genocide. Linguisticide, ethnic and religious genocide, mass starvation, and state-run indoctrination has all been prevalent since the occupation of East Turkestan by China. Shame! The Uyghurs of East Turkestan are currently facing apartheid, organ harvesting, systematic rape, forced marriages, indoctrination, human experimentation, forced labor, ethnic cleansing, and much more. All in the 21st century. Shame! People are forbidden to speak Uyghurcha or practice their religion and culture. Currently, although nobody really knows about the current state of East Turkestan, it can be said with certainty that the oppression and genocide hasn't ended. The Uyghur diaspora are still restricted from contacting their families in East Turkestan or going back to their homeland. And the threat of internment and execution still stands in East Turkestan for those who disobey the laws imposed by China. We are gathered here to raise awareness of all these issues until independence and justice has been reached.
Not just a day of resistance against China's ongoing genocide of the Uyghurs in occupied East Turkestan, but also a day of remembrance. For 76 years, China has occupied East Turkestan. For decades, the Uyghur people have endured discrimination, forced assimilation, and state violence. And in recent years, that oppression has reached its most extreme form of genocide. More than 3 million Uyghurs and other Turkic people have been imprisoned in camps, concentration camps, sites of torture, indoctrination, forced labor, and abuse. These millions are not just mere numbers, they are our fathers, our mothers, our sisters, and our brothers. People have been ripped from their homes and families and placed into these so-called vocational training centers where they are subject to inhumane treatment and living conditions. Outside the camp, Uyghurs live under total surveillance, with each move tracked, every word monitored, suffocated in their own homeland. Families have been destroyed. Women have been forcibly sterilized and raped. Children have been taken from their parents and placed in state-run facilities designed to erase their identity. Mosques and cemeteries have been bulldozed. The goal has been made clear: to erase Uyghur identity and resistance. This is genocide. There's no denying it. The world at large knows it too. These atrocities have been officially recognized as genocide and crimes against humanity by the UN and over a dozen Western parliaments, including Canada, in 2021. It's been 4 years since the Canadian House of Commons unanimously recognized that China's actions towards the Uyghurs constitutes as genocide, but no meaningful action has been taken since to push for an end to these crimes.
Shame!
Shame! Canada's silence and inaction in these last 4 years, not including the 4 years before that, has made it complicit in the genocide of the Uyghurs. More than a dozen other governments have done the same, but what has followed? Almost nothing. No targeted sanctions, no bans on goods made with Uyghur forced labor, such as goods from Zara and H&M, no meaningful consequences for Chinese officials or companies involved in this genocide. Words without action are empty. Recognition without follow-through is complicity, and Canada is complicit in this genocide. Canada and much of the international community has failed to act, and that failure has a cost, paid by the Uyghur people every single day in East Turkestan and outside in the diaspora. We cannot afford more silence. We cannot wait for permission to do what is right. So today we demand action. We demand you boycott Chinese goods linked to forced labor. We demand that Canada divests from companies complicit in the oppression of Uyghurs. We demand Canada to sanction Chinese officials responsible for these crimes. We demand transparency and accountability at every level. We owe it to the victims, to the survivors, and to future generations to act with courage and determination. Genocide does not stop on its own. It doesn't go away when you choose to turn a blind eye for your own convenience. It ends when people stand up, when governments are forced to choose between complicity and justice. We mark October 12th not just as a day of remembrance, but as a day of truth, a day to confront the reality of genocide in our time.